Thank you very much. I want to thank all the dignitaries that are here now. I want to thank all those who helped this ceremony happen today, and I will make a commitment now that we are going to do this better and bigger next year. We're going to make sure more people are here, because the reality is we who are Americans must understand that we enjoy the freedoms that we have. We celebrate our liberties. We casually go about our days shopping, eating, spending time with our families because of the sacrifices of those men and women who came before us, who are willing to do those things that others were not willing to do, to volunteer, to put themselves in harm's way, to sacrifice in the greatest possible way so that their country might continue, so that the freedoms might be bolder, so that the very idea of our nation would continue. This city, as Congressman Payne said, has an incredible tradition of contribution to this nation, to its freedoms, to the military. From the very first war fought on this land, when Washington's army took to terrible defeats in the state of New York, it was here that Washington's army was in retreat, as Washington himself was writing letters to family members, thinking that the revolution was lost, that Newark Minutemen and Minutemen from up and down this state joined Washington's army for one of the greatest battles in the history of our country. But even more than that, when Washington camped for the winter, there were Newark men who were there and who suffered and who died, as hundreds did during that cold winter of 1776. This is the story of Newark. We who enjoy freedoms and liberties must pause and recognize that in every single war, Newark residents died for this country. In the Civil War, when we were fighting to keep our nation whole and one, this city gave up its children to go to battle. While New York City had draft riots because people were protesting having to join the war, New Jersey was spared that because our young men willingly volunteered to go to war to preserve our nation. The War of 1812, World War I, World War II. Every step of this nation's history, Newarkers were in the front lines of battle, giving of their lives. We heard from the congressman about Pearl Harbor, about that savage, vicious attack from the Japanese, when we lost hundreds and hundreds of Newarkers. It was here in this city that we gave of our children to die in that attack so that we might preserve our freedoms and move forward. Archie Callahan, who was indeed one of our children, died on the USS Oklahoma. He and others who died in that attack inspired all of us to press through and fight World War II, fight against fascism abroad. It was New Jerseyans who were there in battles in Midway, in battles on D-Day, fighting to ensure that we would continue as a people, as a country, as a city. Our ideals would be preserved, though they were harshly attacked. And now today, we should not let this weekend pass without recognizing that we are losing our men and women still as they stand nobly, doing their country's work in foreign lands. We in Newark, as we've seen now the largest National Guard deployment since World War II, our sons and daughters right now in American military uniform stand for this city and this nation. The city of Newark has lost 4 sons in this latest war. Their names are worth saying. We must remember them. Joel Perez. We will remember them. Humberto Timoteo. We will remember them. Yao Manuel Anieros. We will remember them. Joe Baines. All 4 of them were not drafted into duty. All 4 of them were not pulled into service. They volunteered. They gave up their lives for their country. Their country must remember them, and all of the great Newarkers, and all of the great New Jerseyans, and all of the great American cities who watered the soil of this nation and others with their tears and their sweat and their blood so that freedom would continue to grow. This is the calling of our country, to stand for something, and if necessary, to fall for something so that children and families and ideals can persevere. We in this city, who enjoy such positive strength, such infinite possibilities, such enduring hope, owe the greatest debt of gratitude to those who struggled so that we might be here today. We must recognize that we drank deeply from rich wells of freedom that we did not dig. So this weekend, let us all who claim that we are Americans, that salute the flag to their glory, let us all remember their sacrifice for our struggles. And as we approach June 12th, the day that the largest deployment from the state of New Jersey since World War II, the day that those people come back home with the greatest representation within that body of people being from the city of Newark, let us go to Trenton on June 12th. Let us stand there with our brethren and sistren, and let us welcome our men and women home. Let us show them that we will not love them with our words, but through our actions and through our deeds. And that when they come home, they will not face isolation and challenges. They will not face fear, but that we will be a people that stands by our soldiers, that stands by our greatest American citizens, that we will embrace them and integrate them back into our society, that we will lift them up and exalt their sacrifices that they have made. We will never finish the business of America. This nation must earn its right every single day. We must show the truth of the matter that freedom is not free. And so us as citizens of this country, let us put forth another payment on the sacrifice of our ancestors, another payment on their tributes and the glory they've given us by continuing the remembrance of what they've done and by continuing to embrace those among us who stand for America in our military. Thank you.